What's up, guys? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another based episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars into the same room, have a dope conversation discussing all the latest alpha from the Bitcoin and broader crypto space, while kicking out the highest frequency vibes. Happy hump day, guys. New Bitcoin all-time high. You know how this goes, man. Bullish, bullish, bullish. I'm telling you, we dissected the Stacks roadmap in the weekly Zest Discord screen share, and it was a lot of based information. I'm never been more bullish on building on Bitcoin via Stacks. Got some base legends in the house tonight. Was a dope Zest Town Hall along with the Hermetica Hangout and building on Bitcoin with the Biplo guys. Very, very busy Wednesday. And also big shout out to Jeremiah.btc. He is starting to spin up some SWE X Stacks spaces. So kind of getting some cross community pollination going on there. And I love to see it. And big shout out to Nas, man. It was a lot of good, work today. And I feel like we are really moving the needle together. So I'd love to see people getting outside of their comfort zone, starting to unmute their mics, getting on these spaces on X, as well as, just finding new gaps to fill within the ecosystem. So keep going, guys. I see you. The next generation of leaders is being minted right now. So big props to those guys. Also have the Zero Authority space on Friday going down. Beta V2 launch or V2 beta launch live. So that's going down at 3 p.m. ET. Be sure to follow Zero Authority and go pop into their space to see what's going down. Zero Authority V2 is launching on Friday, along with their Nova bot a few days later for Discord integration and Telegram integration. Go learn about earning your reputation on chain with Zero Authority DAO. Based. I'm telling you, there's nothing but bullish news going on. And I got some base legends to discuss that with me. But for now, let's bring up my bookmarks and kind of get into what the news has in store for us. That is not my bookmarks as usual. GP, where's the bookmarks? Okay, here we go, guys. So jumping straight on in, and forgive me, my computer is being a little slow today on my end. I just saw this just in from Cointelegraph. Insight: Wikipedia searches for Bitcoin are low, yet Bitcoin's price is pushing toward all-time highs. This disconnect signals retail is still on the sidelines, which can be typical of early bull phases before Main Street hype kicks in. Institutional money is pouring in right now, institutional adoption cycle, and retail follows after that, right? I feel like we're getting somewhere. So there you go. I like these social signals. They're not everything, but they are a good metric to use. So I saw this while I was doing my thing and figured, hey, this would be cool to add to the news real quick. And coming from the main Stacks handle, and you can follow that at Stacks, that is STACKS, introducing the new Stacks roadmap, along with a bunch of base stuff. We already covered this yesterday, but I want you to know how base this is. So go check out the Stacks roadmap. We covered this, like I said, in the Zest weekly screen share in the Discord. And wow, the information is going to take days to unpack how much alpha is in there. So go check it out, guys. Again, from the main Stacks handle, SBTC light paper expected in May 2025. Core developers have been exploring how SBTC can be upgraded to fully self-custodial, combining unique aspects of Stacks with design breakthroughs that would further reduce the trust assumptions of the protocol. Very based, self-custodial Bitcoin, programmable, one-to-one Bitcoin-backed wrapped asset in the Stacks ecosystem, completely decentralized, no federated systems. Go get you some SBTC. Go supply it as collateral on Stacks or Zest and earn 4.41% APY. Last time I checked it, very, very base DeFi strategy there. And as you can see, I liked and shared that. Coming from our main man, Muneeb, and you can follow him at Muneeb. Let's get into this one right here. Since the launch of Nakamoto and SBTC in December 2024, the biggest question I've been getting is what's next for Stacks. There are going to be a series of updates on this between now and the next Tuesday. So next Tuesday being maybe this upcoming Tuesday, right before the Bitcoin conference, we start with releasing a comprehensive new roadmap. It previews exciting new tech breakthroughs that can make SBTC fully self-custodial while it's at rest in L2 wallets or used for L2 payments. And B, major improvements to trust minimization for SBTC deployed in L2 contracts. The roadmap gets into high demand features like support for institutional BTC minting from segregated custody addresses, increased network reliability and speed, upgrades to Stacks VM for performance and better dev UX. Given our decentralized ethos, the roadmap is a result of grassroots feedback from builders and has a broad community support. The Stacks ecosystem is proud of our steady organic growth. This blue chip project has stood the test of time and keeps knocking down fences to pave the path for an on-chain Bitcoin economy. You can find a link to the new Stacks roadmap in the tweet below. Stay tuned for various other updates this week. We're just getting started. And as you can see, I have liked this and put this, and I'm going to go ahead and just say, based Munib in the building. And go ahead and just send that live right there. That's how we do it. Love it, Munib. Keep going, brother. I see you, Mr. Ali. Coming from out the Bellar camp, and you can follow Bellar at Bellar BTC. Bellar is a proud sponsor of the Bitcoin Speakeasy on May 28 in Vegas. Our CEO, Rainfire Mithil, will be there connecting with builders shaping Bitcoin's DeFi future. Join us for the meaningful conversations that drive the ecosystem forward. Hashtag Bitcoin Speakeasy. RSV in the link below. And I will like and share that for you guys. And of course, you can follow me at GPSC_STX. Coming from Hermetica right here, the main Hermetica handle right here. You can follow that at Hermetica5. Come off of there. Why is it stuck? Get off of there. All right, there we go. SUSDH is yield-bearing asset of the first Bitcoin bank. Yields come from funding rates on the short position and our delta neutral strategy. Very, very based. If you do not know about USDH, it is the first Bitcoin-backed stablecoin in existence. It is native to the Bitcoin ecosystem, so it is the first of its kind. So go get you some USDH and go stake it on Hermetica's 2.0 platform. Very based. Coming from the Zest protocol, and you can follow them at Zest Protocol. Come hang out with the Stacks community in the Zest Town Hall AMA. It's the perfect place to discuss new developments in Stacks, hear Web3 updates, and have fun together. Tune in on Wednesday, 21st of May at 12 p.m. EST. And we are usually, the time slot is 11 a.m. EST, but this week we moved it over for the guys at Leather. Big shout out to the guys at Leather, by the way. This was a very based conversation. I wish it was recorded so we could go back and take a look at what all the base chads and builders in the ecosystem that tuned in. I think we had about 109 or so, maybe even more concurrent listeners. We also did a space drop for some Rue. Big shout out to the legend Jackman Switch, co-founder of the Rue token. Moving on, Zest Protocol again. At Zest Protocol, of course. 2,000 more SBTC will enter Stacks tomorrow thanks to the Cap3 deposit. Zest is already home to 470 SBTC, earning a 4.5% APY yield. You are one day and one click away from putting your BTC to work. I love this. One more day to BTC yield. I love this. 4.5% APY just for holding your Bitcoin and collateralizing it on Zest. And you could also borrow against that, borrow some USDH and double down on your position. So very, very cool stuff. Coming from the Stacking DAO handle, and you can follow that at Stacking DAO. Stacking DAO unlocked STX liquidity and kickstarted DeFi growth in STSTX, or with STSTX. Now it's doing the same for Bitcoin, growing SBTC supply via STSTX BTC. BTC liquid staking incoming thanks to dual staking. Stacking DAO is becoming the home of Bitcoin staking. I cannot wait to see what they name the new asset for dual stacking. It's very based, being able to earn Bitcoin yield for having your Bitcoin in the ecosystem, and then incentivizing Bitcoin holders that are getting that yield to hold stacks, because you can get enhanced yield from holding stacks. So very, very based. I love the way they approach that, along with like kind of explaining that SBTC being used as gas, STX is still the gas token under the hood. So that STX, it's a sponsored transaction is what it turns into. But they don't know that. Right on. So moving on into the main news. Insight. Crypto gains are hitting the books. From BTC holdings to mining equipment and taxable gains, crypto is now fully integrated into balance sheets. Very cool. I like to hear that. Bullish. Bitcoin futures open interest has hit an all-time high of over 74 billion. Wow, new all-time high for open interest on positions. Very, very based. I wonder who they're going after. I heard that there's a lot of liquidations up at 115,000 for Bitcoin. Even though we hit a new all-time high today, maybe we have a little bit higher to go. Bullish. Bitcoin breaks all-time high after 121 days, setting new records in price at 109,486. Market cap at 2.17 trillion, and realized cap at 911.5 billion. Wow. New all-time high today's, guys. It's a very, very bullish day for our ecosystem. Bitcoin exchange inflows down 82% since November as USDT reserves surge to 46.9 billion, signaling booming liquidity. Love it. More and more stablecoin regulation. I think that it makes sense, right? Moving on. Bullish. Bitcoin hits new all-time high of 100. Okay, we just talked as institutional inflows surge, with eyes now on the 115K to 120K range. Look at here. Mentions of BTC all-time high exploding as crowd slowly recognizes the milestone. Very, very cool. Just in. Bitcoin whale James Wynn increases his long position to 1 billion. This guy has been increasing his position over the last week and has a big old position. Let's go. New SEC charges Unicoin and top executives with fraud after raising over 100 million from 5,000 plus investors through false claims about asset-backed crypto tokens. Shame on you, Unicoin. Look at you. Bad Unicoin. Bad. Don't scam people. Alert. 99.59 million in long positions liquidated in the last 60 minutes. So Bitcoin went to the top. Of course, people longed it at the new all-time high, and then it retraced a little bit. And then that's how many liquidations got liquidated within the hour of the new all-time high. Look at that. New. One Bitcoin now costs more than 1 kilogram of gold. One Bitcoin costs 109K. 1 kg of gold costs 106K. Let's go, baby. Breaking. Texas has passed the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill in the House, sending it to the governor for approval. This is something that our boy Shiflet has been talking about and how bullish that is. Texas paving the way, man. Let's go. Just waiting on the governor's stamp. Just in, the U.S. Senate has officially advanced the Genius Bill for consideration. Good, because there are other countries that are trying to beat us to the punch, and we need this type of legislation to be passed to stay ahead of the curve, like Jack Ben Switch would say. Seeing that the first draft of the Genius Bill was turned down kind of set us back, and now somebody else kind of beat us to the punch. Hong Kong is the first. So look at that, and we'll get into that in just a second. Moving on, bullish. Bitcoin hits new all-time high, overtaking Amazon to become the 5th largest asset by market cap globally. And as you see here, there's a list of assets. Gold at the top, Microsoft right under that, NVIDIA, Apple, and then Bitcoin. and then Amazon. Very, very based. I'll give that a like. Update. 99,000 traders liquidated in 24 hours, totaling 301 million. Largest single loss was 2.22 million BTC short on Bybit. Bye bye bear is what I call that. Bye bye bear. Bye bye Bybit bear is what I call that. There you go. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast. Anyways, update. Bitcoin surged 53% over the past year, beating gold, which was 35% up, and the S&P 13% per Artemis. This is, I mean, it's obvious over the last how many years since Bitcoin's inception, it's been outperforming the broader market in general. So I'm not surprised, but kind of getting, I guess, a closer look, beating gold and the S&P. Let's go. Latest, Pakistan sets up the Pakistan Digital Assets Authority. To regulate Bitcoin and digital assets, aiming to unlock 25 billion market and attract global investments. Cool. Go ahead, Pakistan. I see you. Guatemala's largest bank, Banco Industrial, integrates blockchain to power instant low-fee cross-border payments. Look at this stuff, man. This is just like happening so quickly in other countries. We need that genius bill to pass. 69,461 users were impacted by Coinbase's December 2024 data breach. Personal info was stolen, but funds and passwords were untouched. Untrue. I know that somebody was likely lost their funds, but it was through social engineering and not just directly. So this is misleading. Don't say shit like that. People did lose their assets because their data was breached. And that's the risk you're taking with KYCing on centralized exchanges. That's misleading as hell, and it pissed me off when I read it because personal info was stolen, but funds and passwords were untouched. Is such that's fucked up. Forget about it. There are people that lost their funds, whether it was indirectly or not, through this breach. So, fuck that. Moving on though. And sorry for my French. I'm not too good at French. Justin, Tether mints 2 billion USDT on Tron, surpassing Ethereum in USDT supply. Very, very cool. More and more USDT on Tron. That's been kind of like a trending thing over the last couple weeks. They've been minting more and more USDT on Tron. Bullish, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF IBIT is now a top 5 ETF inflows with 9 billion IBIT climbing up the charts. Look at there. And I think this might be like a couple of the last ones. Yep. JP Morgan and Ondo Finance settle first tokenized US Treasury trade on Ondo Chain's testnet using Chainlink infrastructure. That was kind of cool. Justin, Bitcoin Suisse wins regulatory green light in Abu Dhabi, marking its first expansion outside the EU amid growing crypto interest in the Middle East. Nice. Latest, let me see here. Yep, okay. Latest, Bloomberg terminal outage disrupts global markets, delaying UK debt auction and leaving traders without live pricing. That is sketchy biz right there, where if you can't close your position too early and you get liquidated. Sketchy biz. And this is what I was talking about here. New, Hong Kong passes stablecoins bill to launch licensing regime for fiat-backed stablecoin issuers, aiming to boost innovation while tightening investor protections. And looky there. If our genius bill wasn't turned down the first time, maybe we would have been the first to have some type of this regulatory clarity. Whatever. Insight. Bitcoin has the strongest security in crypto, but zero scalability. Wrong. That's why we have L2s like Stacks. Exchange fixed that by combining Bitcoin's proof of work, blah, 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 and blah, 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 to blah, 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 blah. We have been, Stacks has been building scalable, programmable Bitcoin in a decentralized manner for a while. But let me read this to you instead of being a smartass. Exchange fixed that by combining Bitcoin's proof of work with module smart contracts, ZK rollups, and decentralized data availability, all without compromising trust. Syscoin, Edge Change are mere mind with Bitcoin. Use ZK rollups for fast, verifiable execution and support both EVM and UTXO. With Bitcoin okay, yeah, I'm done reading this. It is what it is. Go ahead, sis. ICS sis. And then Fidelity purchases 220.79 BTC worth 23.5 million. And that is the news. Let's go. Let us go. I've got some base chads in the house, and let's bring them on up. Give me just a moment, and I'll bring them up. We've got Shiplet in the house. We've got Jack Ben Switch. We have Crypto Dude. And we have our beloved Peace Love Music. Welcome, guys. How are we feeling?
While you were
today?
reading the news, Bitcoin hit 110.3K.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
On stream.
It's back under.
Let's go, baby.
109.6 change. We're still in all-time high territory. Buddy's excited.
Buddy's like,
Hey, Buddy the Wonder Pup. Let's go, dude. Another new all-time high, huh? Okay, guys. We're really going to make it. I feel like moon season is coming. No sleep season, so now I got to readjust my all-time high bar. Look at that, right about right there. And then got a typer little ATH there for it. And then boom, there you go. Got the all-time high bar set, baby. Let's go. Yeah, so looking like we want to be, so we don't want to put a lower, let's see here. We want RSI to come up and get above this right here, or else we're going to print some bear div whenever, like, say we keep going. Say we keep going like this, and we print something like this, and this ends up doing something
bro,
like
it wasn't
this.
all that long ago. I was 100x longing Bitcoin on BitMEX at 6,000, 9,000. Like
If only you could have thought that long.
it's just not that long ago in the scheme of things. Like, my memories from that time period are still fantastic, Like,
My memories were from Bybit. I did some like ultra levered longs and stuff like that, and fortunately, I was able to harvest those losses and carry it over a few tax years. I found an accountant that was cool with reporting it as losses. I was like, "Yeah, I got liquidated, and I'm not going to leverage trade anymore. Can you help me?"
yeah, man.
Got a good accountant for that thing. Yeah, carry that over and just like use it on your taxes, man. It's not a complete
Exactly.
loss, right? Like whenever you're hodling and you're in major profit, So I get that. I used to leverage trade my ass off, 200x leverage. So I used this
200x.
strategy to where you have, fuck a isolated margin. I don't know what that is. So I would fund an account, right? And then I would take like $1 position, and then it's all math from there, right? So you use 200x, and then you have that much margin in your account. That way you could never get liquidated. The price would have to go below zero to liquidate you. But then you're literally waiting just forever for a trade to happen, and then you end up getting eaten up by funding rates and shit like that. So it's not a very, like, you have to be like a degen, very, very. The strategy was not for me because I would get impatient and then just add $1 at a
You
time,
can make a
like
lot of
ladder
money
into a position.
fast.
I'd be like, oh yeah, this is good. And then I would get greedy, and then I would just not close the position while I was in profit. And then I was like, oh, I'll keep going. I'm good. And then boom, liquidated. So it's like,
Which is worse
okay.
than not
I see why
having,
leverage isn't for
like, if you
everybody.
just lost that much money, it would have been better than if you had seen it go into profit and then lost that much money. That's the worst, man. It really is. It's not for me. Like, every so often I'll go in and do it, and I'll make a little bit of money. But the stress involved, even when you get the wins, sometimes it's just not worth it to me. It's too. You have to. I can't stop watching.
Having to watch a chart 100% of the time.
Right.
It gets crazy. Like you find yourself checking your phone every 2 minutes to go into Trading View and shit, and then you want to look at your app usage, and you're on Trading View for half of your day.
Dude,
So
I
it's like,
can't say anything.
yeah, not so
Like,
good.
I was up until 4 a.m, you know, watching the price, you know, shit talking on X. And then like I get to sleep for about 4 hours. The whole time I'm dreaming about crypto. I was sitting there like dreaming about taking loans out on Zest and shit. It was just like, you don't even need
Dreaming about the rates going up before you got your loan. No.
Dude, that Hermetica space was huge, dude. I loved that Fact or Fiction.
Yeah, that was interesting. What Dave
segment that Dave did.
That was a nice
and hearing that
a nice little segment there. It was interesting.
Dave is a fantastic.
Chef's kiss.
Dave knows what Dave knows what he's doing. 100%.
Well, what I thought
Dave knows what he's doing.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting was that when he asked, one of the questions was, would we be able to collateralize our house on Zest to get a loan, right? A Bitcoin-backed loan, or like, will you be able to do it not for Zest, but in the future, like,
Right.
will we be able to do that? And then there was also some questions like, some alpha there, like that Tycho was dropping, right? Like
Tycho's and so Dave asked if you would be able to borrow, like take Bitcoin out against your house on Zest, which I think is, and Tycho actually answered in the affirmative, the opposite, that you'll be able to borrow against your Bitcoin to finance a house. But that's coming to Zest, according to Tycho.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the reverse will be true as well. I think that'll be one of these instances where, like, DeFi will probably outperform the TradFi in these kind of offerings because they're going to try to knock your eyeballs out with fees. But as long as it's Gucci to do it on a decentralized protocol, you've got competition, right? So with no overhead. You know what I'm saying? Like the overhead of running a protocol, you know, there's not a whole lot, you know, for something like Zest. So yeah, I think that I don't know. I think we could see that too for sure.
I think you will too, but I don't think Zest is going to be where they're. I don't think Zest is going to loan out Bitcoin against someone's prop real estate.
No, someone will though.
Someone will. I just don't think that's gonna happen in Zest. Because of course someone will fill any market, right? If there's a demand, it'll get filled. But that's a riskier. You got to get the right terms. Like, do you want to give up Bitcoin to hold on to someone's property? The property, that could also be very volatile.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I think that you're just not going to get as much Bitcoin as you'd want to get, you know, because people aren't, you know,
right.
That's going to be the thing.
Right. No one's going to want to give you their Bitcoin for your shitty house. You know, I mean, that's.
Now, I mean, you probably see it kick off first in luxury markets, right? Like I imagine you'd know more about that than me.
Well, even that, there can be big fluctuations in the price of luxury markets. Really?
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
What?
You said nobody want to give you Bitcoin.
No, I wasn't talking about anyone in particular. I was just like someone with luxury real estate, right? They're not probably. They can borrow the money.
Realtor of the decade.
They're going to borrow the cash, and then they can default on the loan and have the Bitcoin somewhere anyway.
Pieces that you should just do a real estate commercial.
Right.
Like that.
I get what you're
What are you
saying.
going to give you Bitcoin for your shitty house? List with Carino Properties.
I like the baseness of the statement because you can't ignore the difference in the ROI. Like Bitcoin is going to give you a better ROI than a house. So if you're basing it purely on ROI, yes, it is a shitty house when compared to Bitcoin.
But think about this, like would you be able to get a Bitcoin backed stable, for your house, right? And then then you got something, and that's why Bitcoin backed stables are unstoppable. They're going to be a premium. Like, people are just going to want that product. That's why Hermetica is so based.
Hermetica is really awesome.
Do you think that they're going to be in so much demand that the APY that you pay to borrow them ends up being pretty more expensive than what you would pay with perfect credit?
Well, I mean, that all depends, right? And that again,
or do you think it'd be
that
cheap?
goes down to the actual DeFi protocols being able to compete in the free market with your TradFi institutions, and that's the beauty part of all of this, man. Like, DeFi, conceptualized DeFi is tools. It's a toolkit. What can you do with a toolkit? Shit, give it to the right mechanic or the right carpenter and see what he can do, right? That's the beauty of DeFi. So
even a lot of its market dynamics too. Like, even right now, where the opportunity on Zest to borrow USDH at a very super low rate and then deploy it into DeFi with a higher return rate, that's not usually going to be the case. Usually there's going to be more risk involved, but that the prices are subsidized based on market dynamics and supply and demand, and they want to encourage people to use it. So they're kind of discounting, they're discounting the borrow rate to get people to do it, which is smart because it's how they're going to earn money that way anyway. But it's still discounted versus, because why would they loan it out when they can just go deploy the USDH that they're holding into that DeFi for that yield? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's going to be a function of how much liquidity there is in the market. And, there's going to be a lot. I think when we start seeing USDC or whatever come into stacks, I think that's when you really see USDH blow up. When people come in and they're like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, what? This is way better. And that's when
You mean straight up, USD? I think I'm on a little bit of a lag for some reason. I'm sorry. But do you mean straight up USDC, or because we have AE USDC, which is a wrapped version that we use in our ecosystem already? You're talking about having straight up USDC.
Well, even if it has to be wrapped, I mean, we don't know how. We'll see how the roadmap plan plays out. Especially with Blossom and so forth. But let's say it's the wrap version of USDC. It's still going to be collateralized by USDC. And those LPs, when they get over here and they see a way better return, I think they're going to go to the USDH, and then you just created a whole new level to the DeFi games.
I think that it's going to be I was reading, and I was saying, I was reading into instead of just listening to what the core developers and people up top were in the video. It was a great video, but I took a look at the actual roadmap and got to read the information and dissect a little bit of it today. Great screen share today. Very insightful. I'm glad that I took I had a moment to spend with the community to kind of break down what some of these things mean, because I better understand the dual stacking now. People being incentivized to hold STX to get the highest returns is the most bullish shit I have ever heard for the Stacks ecosystem. It has got me I'm already a perma bull, but I feel that's the most bullish news right there. What do you think out of the roadmap is the bullishest, the most bullish news? Is it the WASM upgrade? Is it the incentives for new devs and community members to keep participating, or like, what do you think is the most bullish part?
It's I think when you look at it holistically, you can't be anything but bullish. But I just keep going back to the fact that, okay, so the cap, the new cap is tomorrow. I have every reason to believe that cap is going to fill very quickly, right? And that's going to be another indication that you have all of this institutional liquidity landing here on Stacks. And then when you take, okay, we're going to have better bridges, we're going to have more bridges, we're going to have fiat on-ramps, you have all this liquidity, and then you have, and we're incentivizing builders, and we're, you take all of these things holistically, and then you add the okay, you've already got the bedrock of the solid community, and then you're like, oh yeah, and now Clarity is going to be easier for devs to use to build on Stacks. All of these things, when you just have to, you look at it holistically, you break it up into pieces, you're like, wow, it's any one of these things would be great in and of themselves. But then when you look at the whole piece, you're like, this is insanely bullish, like absolutely insane. So yeah, it's just
they're also on exchange listings, like having major exchanges like have citizen support.
I remember the first time I saw WBTC on an exchange. I was still very new. I was like, what's that? It's the same price as Bitcoin. Like, what? Okay. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's Bitcoin being used in Ethereum, right? So just by having SBTC on exchanges, it's reasonable to believe that that's going to be its own on-ramp into the Stacks ecosystem in and of itself, right? So it's all bullish.
Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, Wrap BTC was actually super bullish when it first came out because it was, it was Bitcoin in a programmable smart contract form, which had the compromises of less security and not Bitcoin finality, and then it was originally proof of work actually on Ethereum when they first launched WBTC too. But it isn't anymore, and so that's why SBTC is such an amazing advancement, because it fills in all the gaps that WBTC had flaws in, and actually has better function or as good functionality on Stacks now.
Yeah.
Seriously, what is Stack? Is there any negative measuring up to against Ethereum function wise, transactional speed wise, and cost wise? Stacks is better, right? Good.
Without a doubt, it's better.
And if you take Wrap Bitcoin, like picture like like watching the Flintstones, and like they've got the old, their tires on their cars are made out of rock, right? And then like that's Wrap Bitcoin versus the Tesla that is SBTC, right? And to Shiflet's point, 100%, Stacks is better. Ethereum doesn't need Bitcoin to exist. Stacks literally needs Bitcoin to exist. That is like a visceral. Once you understand that, you understand at a deeper level just how connected this is to Bitcoin. Just that in and of itself. So yeah, and Wasim's gonna make Stacks even faster, and like nobody complains about Stacks transaction speed anymore. No one.
No, not at all.
It was fast.
I think it was down for a little while on Monday. Right, transactions were down for a brief period on Monday, and that was it. But that happens every so often on any chain. But I mean, otherwise, like I haven't heard anyone say anything about a transaction taking too long in a long time. Bitcoin's been generally fast for Bitcoin too. Like Bitcoin hasn't had too many long blocks.
Yeah, and that's the other part too. Like dog getting listed on Kraken is a pretty big deal. That's going to shine the lights into the Bitcoin ecosystem in a big way. And there's a lot of other protocols trying to work on the L1 to bring DeFi and stuff to Bitcoin at the base layer. That's going to get attention, but I don't think any of them is going to measure up to Stacks, and we're going to be the beneficiary of that as well.
Yeah, just like reading into how they decide, like how they're going to grow this, growing the ecosystem, LP incentives for larger institutional adoption, incentives for builders to grow their protocols, TGE readiness for the ecosystem, SIP10 asset support for exchanges, onboarding an on-chain market maker, stablecoin liquidity and Stacks apps. That on-chain market maker, don't we have like doesn't Wintermute do some market making for us? But it's not on-chain, is it?
If they do, it's going to be through a centralized exchange.
So can we break down what this exactly means, like onboarding and
that
on-chain
means the
market maker?
DEXs will have a market maker.
So more volume on chain, it will be able to
100%.
be processed. Okay, just want to make sure I had that right. And then like we're getting into like SBT TVL Cap 3 and beyond. Work has been underway since the end of 2024. Notably being 2 previous caps being filled. Contributors have helped enable flow of SBTC into Stacks apps by developing and facilitating relationships with SBTC holders. Big holders of SBTC are like Jump, UTXO, and SNZ. Again, this next milestone, right, with cap number 3 is another 2,000 BTC in the ecosystem. And they're trying to push for 21,000 SBTC for the TVL growth by the end of 2025, which is a major goal. So I bet there's a lot of handshakes going on, a lot of different partners. The Stacks Asia Foundation is also partnered with Taptive, SNZ, and Loner Crush. Just bullish. It sounds like everybody is like kind of getting organized for some big news, right? Almost like something is already on the way and it just hasn't been announced yet, right? Is what this kind of feels like.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's always going to be things that, are going to be like there's okay. So just for instance, today, Rena from the foundation teased a big leather announcement tomorrow, right? So like, there's always going to be something going on in the background that we don't find out about until the last minute, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, dude, it's got to be under hush, and then like we'll learn about it like right before, and then maximum hype.
Just a reminder of the 1-year anniversary of the private placement for Grayscales tomorrow.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Tomorrow.
You're gonna look like Nostradamus, man. Watch.
Dude.
I hope it works out. That's good for everybody. Like that's a huge thing. Being able to hold something tied to Stacks in your regular socket portfolio, like that's huge.
So like the norm, like we like to like the boomers, right? The boomers will be able to hold Stacks and their portfolios is the way that sounds, right?
What's going to be crazy, right? Dude, is like we've all been buying Stacks. Well, as of recently, some people got in at just absolute steals, and we're going to be talking about Stacks the same way people talk about Chainlink now, probably this cycle. Right, like it's $16, $15, $17. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna hit that level quick. And when for those of you who haven't been around for like a real bull cycle, like a real bull run, it's just like you're just watching your dreams just go up in a giant green candle because you were retarded and sat on your hands and now you're just praying for a pullback. And you're like, man, the guys that bought stacks at like 45 cents were so lucky. No, bro. Like, that's coming. That's coming this cycle. Everything.
Well, I got stacks at near 45 cents, but I also bought stacks at $3 and $2.50, $3.20 or whatever that high was. I bought a little bit around there. So I mean, I do consider myself lucky, by the way. I'm lucky that I'm lucky I have access to the internet, and I'm lucky that I have access to the computer, and I'm lucky that I came across Jack Bin Switch, and then I am. I'm very fortunate for a number of reasons, but I also put the work in. That's what it boils down to.
That reminds me of Link, like what was it, the Link Army? Why doesn't the Stacks community have a nickname? Like, we deserve one. We're just as rabid as the Link Army, ever was. Like, where's our nickname? What would our nickname be?
I don't know. Stacks Trailblazers. I don't know. That's a good question, Jack. A very, very good question. Damn, that deserves a poll on Twitter.
What should we be called? Because like, when this is all said and done, like, people are gonna have to recognize the strength of this community that, like, helped push this project to its zenith, right? And then before mass onboarding. So we need a nickname in this community.
Rolling back to the project and where it's going and everything, people call us lucky and stuff, but it's all about recognizing value before the money's there. Because once the money's there, you're already too late, and you may end up being someone's exit liquidity. So recognizing that, just even at just the surface level, hey, I can lock up this token and earn Bitcoin yield on me just holding the token. Like other coins, they pay you in like kind and the same token. That's probably inflationary. This is a scarce token that pays you yield in an even scarcer token. Like, tell me more. Like, but you can potentially get people in just from that alone before getting into all the other juicy stuff that Stacks has got going on.
Yeah, it's got decreased sell pressure baked right into the consensus mechanism, man.
Right.
So I got this right here. I put up Grok and I asked it, Chainlink is an army, XRP is the XRP army. What would be a good nickname for the devoted Stacks users? And it gave me the Stackers, Stacks Brigade, and I asked for 10 suggestions. We got the Stackers, Stacks Brigade, Block Stackers, Clarity Crew, Stacks Vanguard, Bitcoin Builders, Stacks Sentinels, the Layer Legion, Proof of Transfer Posse, Stacks Pioneers. And I don't know if any of those capture how based.
I find it funny that it came up with Block Stackers, because this used to be called Block Stack.
Right.
I think it may have pulled some of that information to come
But
up
if I were
with
to
that, right?
pick one, I would say Stack Sentinels.
I liked Stack Sentinels a little bit too. Like, out of all of them,
because we're here for the ethos.
No, that's going to confuse people with ETH.
Oh yeah, that's true. Damn it. That's all right. Forget it.
Clarity, Crusaders, Bitcoin Layer League,
like band
POX,
name, which is my
POX
least favorite
pack.
pastime.
I really like the POX pack. Stacks Trailblazers. Wow. Talk about, like, am I becoming AI? Block Stack Battalion, Satoshi Stackers, Stacks Syndicate, Layered Legion. Are any of these resonate? I like POX pack and Stacks Sentinels, but I just feel like, I don't know. What do you think, Jack? Do I say give us 10 more?
Yeah, this would have to be, and this definitely deserves community engagement and support and feedback, and it deserves its own NFT collection. It deserves like a big massive airdrop to, like, the old wallets and stuff. Like, yeah, but there's definitely something here, I think.
Dude, Bitcoin anchors. Okay. But yeah, like, maybe we pull a few of these and then put it into a poll, right? And then we have an other option and then drop it in the comments and see what we get from the community. And maybe we can potentially get it into the marketing group, and like you guys could bring this up, that because this is a damn good point. Like, what the hell do we call the Stacks army? Because I don't think it's an army. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a Stackers is like, you know, it is the first one that they suggested, right? So it makes sense. Whenever you're like securing the network, you're deemed a stacker already within the ecosystem. So I feel like maybe it might have pulled some data saying stackers was, you know, the best option, but this is a good poll, and maybe it might be something for the main Stacks handle to talk about. I don't know.
So,
got us pondering,
most
dude.
definitely the noodle is cooking over here. I like it when it's a little more abstract, for sure.
Yeah.
Like Stalkers is a little too nose on the head, you know.
Yeah, it's a little too generic almost because it's
exactly.
It's like too obvious.
The POX posse is based. I like it. I don't like.
I feel like it should be one word, right? Yeah. And like that one word, people just automatically associate with like that group of people who were early to Stacks, right? Like, but I just don't know. Like, that's one of those things that you think about it,
and it does.
Yeah, it's almost
just
like
call us.
Yeah,
it does deserve its own collection.
Shameless shill here. Eruptars.
Eruptars. Maybe that's not a bad one. I've heard of something like that before.
Yep.
Dude, Eruptars is based. You haven't heard? You haven't heard of Eruptars?
And I got mine way before Blockface, by the way.
Blockface is rolling.
Oh yeah, dude, I got one too. I got like one or two.
So,
it's just a based NFT
should I share my
collection.
screen really quick?
Whoever created those is like a G.
Share a window really quick. Show you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
With over here. Let me
please
figure out how to do this again here.
Yeah, dude. You sent me a nice little teaser in the DMs there, bud. I really enjoyed seeing that. I know you've been hammering, so excited to see what you got, man. Here, I'll bring it right on up for us. And let's put us at the bottom. Oh, what happened? Did we do the thing, Steve?
Maybe.
All right.
I hit it when it flashes up at the top. So did you go turn on the switch?
Oh,
here,
you clicked
do it.
there?
Disconnect.
Yeah, I always click from the main.
Yeah, that's what happened. I hit the button before you hit
there.
the switch. So when you
I think you should probably put us to the right, onto the right side, so people can get a little more visual there.
Gotcha. Or we could just give it a full on like one of these real quick.
Let's keep our faces on there for funsies.
Okay. So we'll put us off to the right, not at the bottom.
Yeah. See,
right off
we
to
got
the right.
We got basically Discord here. I'm on Discord.com, obviously.
Oh shit!
Connect our wallets here. We had to do a little bit of a clever work to get this to work, so it takes a few moments here. But you obviously can't. I'm only sharing my window, not my full screen here. But I'm getting prompted, obviously, with my wallet here to sign in. So give me one sec. All right, should be there. Yep. So you can see it says disconnect now. I can mouse over. You can see the emojis. We got this button now here. It presents us.
Oh, wait, is that? Are you boosting a Discord post? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, this is the. So as you mouse over the messages, the icon for the Boost X rocket is just right there next to it.
Oh shit!
So they don't even have to have a BNS name.
Well, they'll still need a BNS name for it to translate, right? Because we're translating.
To send them. So how do you send it to them? right?
Yeah, so it's very similar UI UX is what we do on X. You'll connect your wallet first, then you'll, instead of finding tweets with the rocket, you'll find messages in the various channels, right? And so GPSC's got his .btc name. It technically does put it on every message. So if you're like on a message by somebody that doesn't have a .btc, let me see if I can find somebody like this guy right here doesn't have a .btc. When it opens, it'll say not found, right? So
you just
there
can't
is that.
transact with them.
Yeah, you can't transact to those people. We could probably filter that down to where it's not rendering that for people that don't have a .btc. But we got it close for the moment, and you can see though it'll extract and do the translation, and you can do the thing. And it's open in my other window that you can't see obviously at the moment, but there's one little one more thing left to handle basically on this, which is the via ID, which is what handles all the link backs for all the notifications. We're gonna move the notifications out of in-app to basically in the browser. So up here it'll
just show in the extension icon. It'll have like a
exactly. And so you'll be able to basically see your notifications via your browser, click them, and then they'll bring you to the corresponding app, to the corresponding object. So if it's derived from X, it'll bring you to the X page or tweet or whatever. If it's derived from Discord, it'll bring you to the corresponding server and channel and message. So we're getting uber close. We just have one little argument left to bake in there. That's not going to be that difficult. Just need some time on it. But also, I was going to show you this shit I got in our Discord here. Oh yeah, who's TechSpot? Hello, let's see here. Tell me about the Stacks blockchain. And then it'll take a moment because it's got to compute everything, but don't fucking die. Oops, hold on. Okay, yeah, there you go. I was like, I think I may have disabled. Yeah, so basically the BoostX bot now has some artificial intelligence in it too. Threw that together today.
Awesome.
That is sick, dude. Bravissimo. I am ecstatic about this right here. This is something that I've been asking you about for a while, man. And to see that you're so close to where it's even got the display for the wallets where you can connect it and on the post, that means that I can start onboarding people to with their BNS in Discord now. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, brother.
I'll catch y'all later.
Thank you so much.
Later, man.
Yeah, GP. We did this. We focused on this because we knew you was wanting it, and we knew you've been a major advocate. So we was like, we're gonna hammer on this motherfucker until we got it done.
I know this was one of those ones for you too, bro. That I was like, damn.
To give some people some insight, it's most definitely different than how it's done on X because the kind of the nature of how the apps are built. I can't really go into great technical details without just boring you to death, but let's just put it this way. X is a little bit more friendly than Discord. And so to get it to work on Discord most definitely took some creative juices flowing, but we got it. And, I'm super proud of our team for putting in the long hours to make it come together.
Damn, dude. You should be proud. Big shout out to the BoostX ambassadors, but most importantly, big shout out to you and Crypto Smith, man. You guys are some real base chats, Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars, you name it. You have many accolades, sir, and I am a big fan, bro. I have been since I got to know you as a person and a builder since you started coming on the show, and to see that you kind of got this closer, dude, and it's almost there. I'm super
as you can
stoked. It's I know, dude. You deserve.
It still obviously works on X too as well. So let's go. Fuck, that was the handling. I'm not gonna lie, the handling between the two domains. It's fuck, dude. There's a lot going on the code base in terms of making it all like not break on one side but still work on the other side. And oh man, it was.
Oh, so the code
Yeah,
base is
because
like
they're
crazy
well, it's because we
now
have to handle them so differently, based on where they come from, right? If it's on X, it's a little bit different, right? And you would think it's relatively the same, but because the way they built the apps, it's most definitely like different, right? And so when you're building out the feature to integrate on Discord, you're like, all right, got it. And then we'd be like, and we broke it over here. So it's like there was a lot of back and forth. So hopefully everybody appreciates all that. But I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. If anything,
I stopped sharing the
Hey,
screen.
guys.
Sorry.
I don't know why I'm so big right now, dude. Like,
No,
what
that
did I
was-
do to this? Like,
That was
how
me,
did I
probably
break?
because I killed my screen share. It just defaulted that.
No, but like even then, I was supposed to be like small with you guys, like on the setting it was on. I don't know what I did. I replaced the screen somehow. It just happens whenever you build the plane in the air. But crypto, dude, bravissimo, bro. Like that shit is dope. That is dope. That first like look, and I love the way that you build. Like I've said this before, the way that you build in the open. You're encouraging feedback and honest feedback too, so you can like further find what people want from BoostX,
Yeah,
so you can implement it. And seeing you guys kind of chip away at this over the last couple weeks,
honest
like,
feedback
dude,
is
I'm super
honest
grateful
feedback
that
is critical words
you know,
there, bro.
'cause
Because
I-
if you blow smoke up our ass, we're not gonna get the right feedback. So
What BoostX is doing for Twitter Spaces, it's going to now do for Discord, right? Like that's so. Communities are so are going to be so inclined to utilize BoostX. I mean, the leverage alone is phenomenal, right? It gives you a wide range of options, and using it in Discord is going to be a massive growth hack for communities, for engagement, and that's important. Like you want your community to thrive. You want your community to have a hub where you can go and stew on great ideas, and creativity can be expressed and alpha can be shared. And I think that while we're seeing an uptick in Spaces participation this week, not all of that's attributed to the market becoming more bullish. Like BoostX is kind of leading the way also, right? So
let's go.
that was the
I
original intent. Like
Exactly.
when all of this stuff was still like very, very early, like we sat here on this broadcast and in private talking about how this could work and how this could be beneficial for the community. And I just want to reiterate just how special that is in terms of ecosystems. You just don't see that, right? You have a builder's ethos here, and you have like an understanding that you don't necessarily find outside of Bitcoin. And I'm hoping that will become more and more common. But this is absolutely amazing, and I think that there's when you start talking about the NFTs and you start just adding more and more to this, it's going to level up that much more.
Yeah, we'll have space drops in Discord eventually on the shared spaces. So like when you're streaming, like you like to do GP when you're doing like your art tutorials and whatnot, it'll be perfect to reward those people that are showing up to that, and kind of we'll get there on that. We don't have that quite on their initial we're gonna kind of slow roll it like we did originally on X. Get it on just the messages, and then we'll introduce the space drops in a following update. But it's all coming together real nice, and I think the feedback has been absolutely critical. So keep it coming.
Yeah, dude. Like I can see a place where like, hey, I have an option to space drop to people in the Discord that were active on a certain date. I just type in a time for the date, and then boom, the people that were active with the, because it's logged, get a space drop. Or if they're in a screen share, like you said, get a space drop. Fan fucking tastic, dude. Like seriously, and I really am grateful for this, because this is something that's going to make my life as a community builder on Discord a lot easier and better, to distribute prizes, you name it, man. It's really going to enhance this experience. And whenever you get to thinking about the Novabot and Zero Authority, and like thinking of having both of these running in conjunction, to where like you have like AI, and you're earning reputation for taking being active in a Discord. Like the tools being built are for community founders are really based right now, and I'm stupid excited. Right, it's crazy. We are rounding about that hour mark, and I am thankful that you guys came and shot the breeze with me. Totally bullish day. New Bitcoin all-time high at 110K. We've got like many based spaces today, from the Hermetica Hangout featuring Zest with Tycho today. We've got the building on Bitcoin with the Bitflow squad. All of the spaces today were so bullish. Everybody's energy was big, and you could see the users were there. Jack is right. Like, people are space drop hunting and showing up to all the stack spaces right now. And I do think that BoostX is that catalyst, that theory that BoostX will connect all of the different apps and protocols in one way or another is going to be proven true. So I think it's being proven out right now. And yeah, dude, super bullish. I want to go around the room and just get a, final thoughts, final frequencies, any closing statements that we want to make. And Chef, I want to shoot to you first, brother.
Feeling good,
feeling, man.
Feeling good. All-time high. Let's see if Abbott signs that SBR before the conference. If not, he's definitely going to sign it during the conference. Like, let's see if he does a live stream or something from his governor's desk and direct to the Nakamoto stage. I could see something like that going down. And then tomorrow's Grayscale's 1 year anniversary for the Stacks private placement. So let's see what happens starting tomorrow with respect to that. Feeling good. Let's do it.
It's going down, bro. A lot of things lining up for our ecosystem, including that 1 year anniversary of the STX Grayscale Trust, the cap raise, 2,000 more BTC entering our ecosystem as SBTC. You name it, we got it, and we really do got it going on. So, crypto dude. Any final thoughts, closing statements? Final frequencies, vibes, etc. What do you?
The typical get out there and install BoostX. Leave a review on the Chrome store. Also, I want to address Jack's DM here in private. He mentioned that he was getting people reaching out to him saying they didn't get Rue in the space drop earlier when they did a space drop. So here's the thing about the space drops. We 100% depend on X to supply us the rendered list of names in the space participants. So whoever is doing the space drop at that time, whatever they see in their rendered list, that's basically what's going to get parsed. I've tried to improve things by potentially leveraging the Stacks or the X API itself to return more, a complete list of space participants. But the X API is actually worse than the DOM output. So we literally I can get about 8 people consistently from the X API, but we can get I've seen it get all the way up to 64 in the spaces. It says in the UI of the DOM on X that it'll show up to 1,000 participants, but it'll hide people that are not logged in. I'm assuming it's also hiding people that it flags as spammers or botters, or their new accounts that are maybe not verified accounts. There's probably all sorts of things that it quantifies into determining who should be rendered in that list. But, that's all subject to X's algorithm. I don't really have any control over that. So
right. So it brings just like a slight randomness to it.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
So it does most definitely incentivize you to participate as a speaker, though, because the speakers and co-hosts, those are consistently always on the list because the listeners, want to know who's speaking, right? So it really just kind of depends on your activity, I think, by and large, and also kind of the size of the space. If there's over 56 people in there, like 15 to 16 rows of people in there, because it's 4 people per row, basically anywhere from 56 to 64 people, then I noticed it likes to start putting people in the other listeners. So I don't know if that's because those other listeners are actually not logged in or deemed as flags, or it's just because X is kind of lying to us, saying it's actually only going to present us the full 1,000 list, even though it says it will right there on the DOM. So, it's kind of one of those scenarios where, not much I can do about it in terms of ensuring everybody's included, because it's subject to the rendered view, and also that rendered view of listeners is probably different from person to person to person. Like what you see in there as listeners, GP, is probably slightly different than what Jack sees as the listeners. So, that kind of unfortunate, but
I mean, it is what it is.
So so it might be worth to, like, if you take a look at the crowd and see the .btc and .stx.id names, and then you render that list, and then you think it's a little bit off as a space dropper, a founder, the person that's going to be doing the space drop, to close it out and then try to render it again to see what happens from it. Give it a college try.
To also account for to help offset this unfortunate, circumstance, because we can't really do much about what X is serving to us, right? The kind of the band-aid, so to speak, will be allowing users to create custom lists and save their. So basically, when you're clicking the space drop, it renders all the lists, but we're wanting it to where users can also save those names to a kind of a private list, so to speak, and then add them from that private list to the list of recipients. So that way you can, add that your people that are loyal, that are showing up on the regular, you can just ensure that they're always in the list just by your ambassadors. Always make sure that they're on the list. And that also will help ensure that they'll get the invite if they happen not actually be in the space. So, that will help balance out the rewards.
And that kind of incentivizes people
participate more too.
Yeah, and it also incentivizes people to get active. Yeah, active, and they're like, okay, you want to get on GP's list? Then show me. Like, are you really supporting? Are you liking, sharing? Are you trying to be active with engaging with me to get on GP's specific list if I announce a space drop, right? So I like that concept. The list is going
to exactly. It's the best we can kind of do to offset the inconvenience that X is basically doing for us, because it's the byproduct of X's data they're serving to us ultimately.
How much RU went out per user today?
It was 668, I do believe. It was 22,500 that you sent me. And it was 35 participants that it parsed, and then I think out of those 35, it sent to 34.
I'll try to.
So it was 668 something.
Yeah,
so there's been quite a bit of RU that's gone out though. Overall via BoostX and Space Drop, Boost and Space Drop, RU's right up there. I can tell you, kind of I can get. Let's see, there's been a total of 126,600 RU.
That is that's over $1,000 worth of RU today.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about $900, but yeah.
That's,
I think, based on according to Bitflow.
And we were one of the first, if not the first, to use BoostX on a space. I know it was very early on in the process. And that's what it's all about, right? So cool. People like crypto, and people like to get it, And like, there's always been like, hey, if you do this, and I'll give you some crypto or whatever, and people get jacked around and they don't get treated right. And it's cool. It's cool for people to be able to experience that. And if you add that with like fine to earn, right? Like, but that's what it is. It's a community coin. It's for the community, you know? And no, that's cool, man. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about the participation all the way around, like between all the communities. I mean, everybody is showing up, and, like GP says, showing up and showing out. It's awesome to see. I mean, I've most definitely noticed the larger numbers in spaces. Like spaces, didn't used to have the number turnout. Now, like basically every stack space has a fair amount of people showing up to them. So it's pretty cool to see. I'm not going to try and take credit for that, obviously, but I would like to hope that we've had some part to play in that.
That's
most definitely.
Yeah,
catalyst.
You can't argue against
a catalyst, bro, for sure. Like if you don't want to take,
I'll give you that credit. Like,
gotta let you know. Bro.
I'm on these
Sure,
spaces all the time, and the difference in a space with no boost X and then a space with boost X, and then seeing like how much more space participation there is, even on the ones that don't have a boost X, planned, huge. It's absolutely massive.
Yeah, now just the possibility of a space drop is bringing people to obviously there's no guarantees of space drops on any space, right? It's just at people's discretion, but the hunters are showing up, and they're getting the word out, and that's getting the word out, and so it's getting a nice little compounded effect there.
And to your point, we got to do that space earlier today with Jeremiah and Nosferatu. And Jeremiah is a Rubu from a while. Nosferatu is pretty new to the ecosystem. We met a brand new artist, so you've got you've got people coming out here making their own spaces. You've got more content creators coming into the ecosystem. You've got more artists being onboarded into the ecosystem. All of this has a synergistic effect, right? The ecosystem needs content. Every ecosystem does. Ecosystem needs artists. The ecosystem needs thought leaders. It needs evangelists. It needs all of these different things, and we're watching that play out in a cycle now, and that's a very, very bullish signal.
Yeah, it's intense. Like seeing the numbers is like gives you one vibe, but actually just hearing people's enthusiasm, that's where I get the real vibe. Like that's where I'm like, oh yeah, shit's picking up, because people are fucking, especially the new people like that have never heard about stacks, and they show up and they're like, wait, you guys can do what over here?
Right. Yeah.
You're like,
that's
that's right. We've been doing this. We've been building. Welcome to the future.
And even if they do a value proposition on like market caps relative to the fundamentals, like anybody who's been in Solana or Ethereum, once they come here and they're like, whoa, it's like a buffet of like low market cap quality projects that you can just shotgun blast, not a whole lot of liquidity, and get some pretty decent positions. And it's gonna be wild when the money really comes into this ecosystem.
100%.
You know who I saw make a buy yesterday on a Sipton asset? Falcon Capital. And if you're from the space and like meme coins and Siptons and all that stuff, that's kind of one of those signals, right? When Falcon's making a buy, it just seems like one of those social signals for some reason, doesn't it?
No, it's getting to be time. You've got smart money making positions, and we're so used to having a limited amount of liquidity in stacks, and part of that's tied into stables, part of that's been tied into all of these other things that have been addressed and are currently on the roadmap. And so when you have a lot of liquidity move into this ecosystem, people are going to be shocked. Like that $900 worth of RU that has been given out via BoostX is going to be worth thousands thousands and thousands of dollars, like in an instant. It's like that's the reality of like being a part of this ecosystem right now.
Just a reminder, Welsh was once under $100,000 in market cap, and it ran all the way to 150 million. So,
Yep.
Buckle up.
That's insane.
Yep.
Buckle up, boys. It's coming. Guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. I really, really appreciate all the base takes. And I'll just shoot this out there one last time. Any like final like any cherry on top for the listeners, and I'll just let it be open. Anybody, not all at once, but
Will the change be the change?
Anybody want to take
That's
it?
it. No, like if you're here, you're in the right place, and like Mr. Wagme just said, we are gonna make it.
Oh, and big shout out to my chat, man, coming through relentlessly. We've got Ivan, we've got all Alamzi, Peace Love in there. We got Digibite. What's up, Digibite? Isaac, Sif, Wagme. Much love, guys, and especially to you guys here on the panel. I hope that you have a very blessed rest of your night, fellas, and we'll do this again tomorrow and get into some more awesome conversations.
Later, guys.
Y'all have a good
Later.
one. And this has been another based episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together to talk about base things being built in the Bitcoin ecosystem via stacks, discuss world news, crypto news, you name it, we're covering it, and we're bringing you the alpha fresh and hot off the presses while kicking out the highest frequency vibes. I'm your boy GP with DeOrganized Media. Be sure to tune into the Let's Go Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. ET, Monday through Friday. At 9:30, we play Find to Earn for SIP10 assets with the Skullcoin crew. Be sure to give Skullcoin a follow at Skullcoin BTC to play Find to Earn for your prizes. We have Find to Earn Friday coming up in the Zest Discord, so be sure to jump into the Zest Discord to partake in that, as well as the Pokemon TCG Pocket tournament tomorrow in the Stacking DAO Discord at 11 a.m. ET. If you want to take part, go get into the Stacking DAO and Zest communities. Very base building going on, leading the DeFi revolution on Bitcoin. Be sure to tune in to DeOrganized Nightly at 7 p.m. ET, Monday through Friday. I'm your boy GP, like I said, and I'm wishing you guys a very, very high frequency rest of your night. Keep love in the room, guys. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.